Hello, Elly here from Thankful Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me for another YouTube flow. We are going to be working into more of a kind of power vinyasa style flow today. I definitely recommend grabbing some blocks for this practice. We're going to be working into some twists, and I'm going to be offering an opportunity to work on splits, but that is by no means saying that you need to do the splits. That is just going to be basically some stretches into the hips and the legs. So yes, so grabbing any props and blocks that you might like to work with and having them to hand, and then we're going to start the class in a standing position on our mat. So feet roughly hip width apart, just letting the arms hang down by the side of the body and closing down the eyes or taking a steady gaze. Start to notice how your breath feels as it travels into the body. Maybe becoming a bit curious about how it feels to stand in stillness like this today. Are you finding that there's resistance? Are you finding that it feels really good? Maybe your mind is racing with lots of thoughts, or maybe it's still. There is no right or wrong. We're not here to judge anything or label anything, just accepting and noticing, coming into that place of awareness as the observer. Seeing if you can feel any sensations in the hands, maybe the feet. Maybe there's a natural gentle sway of the body. Let your shoulder blades run down your back. Allow yourself to really ground into this present moment. We'll open the eyes back up now if you have them closed. And we'll start to take our wrist flicks. But again, you can start to make this movement as big or as small as you want it to be. I've been bringing this into a few of these practices now, so if you were new to this before, you might be getting a little bit more used to it, maybe even enjoying it, hopefully. Just shaking it out, shifting that energy, getting that energy moving. Nice, okay. And then coming back to stillness. Inhale, sweep your left fingertips up to the sky, lift up and out from the waist. As you breathe out, we're going to slide this right hand down the right leg, coming into a stretch here. Letting the left side body open up. Keep breathing in and out. And come back to center. Inhale, right arm sweeps up to the sky, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, come into your stretch, over to the left side, right side body cracking open. And release the right hand back down. Inhale, reach both hands up to the sky, grow the spine tall. Exhale, cactus the arms, open across the chest. Inhale here, lifting up and out from the pelvis. Exhale, twist to the right. All this movement's coming from the waist. Bless me. Inhale, come back to center. On the exhale, twisting to the other side. Breathing here. Keeping that prana That life force energy flowing in and out of the body. Inhale back to center and release. And then we're going to step now to the back of your mat. Feet are still roughly hip width apart. You can take some softness in the legs, and we're going to drop the head down to the chest, draw the belly in towards the spine, and start to curl the body and snake your way down into a forward fold. Hanging the head heavy here. Hands can come to the elbows, or they can just hang, whatever feels good for you. And start to take a gentle sway in your fold if you can, just bending through one leg, then the other. Feeling into the backs of the legs, the lower back. And keep releasing through the head. Notice if you're holding the head at all here, if you're holding any tension or you're tempted to keep lifting the head, that's okay if you are. Just try and give that message, give permission for the head and the neck to hang heavy and just release. Coming back to stillness, we're going to draw the hands down to the mat. Remember, you can bend the legs as much as you need to, and then we're going to walk our hands out in front until we find our downward facing dog. So pressing the mat away with your hands, lifting the hips to the sky, and start to take a little pedal out here through the feet, really feeling into the backs of the legs. Checking in with how am I feeling today? Mentally, physically, emotionally. And whatever comes up, just knowing that that's valid. We're not trying to change anything. Allowing this practice to just be a safe space, to come into your place of awareness. On your next inhale, moving into some spinal rolls, we're going to draw the belly in and shift the shoulders forward so that they're coming above the wrist. So as if you're moving into a plank position. And then on your exhale, you're bending the legs. You can take a little bend through the arms as well. And we're going to curl the spine back to a downward facing dog. So on the inhale, finding this rounding through the spine, coming forward. Exhale, sending those hips back up to the sky. Inhale, shifting the shoulders forwards. Exhale, lifting the hips back up to the sky. And don't worry too much about how this looks. Just focus on how it feels for you, moving the spine, moving the body. Taking your last spinal roll, inhaling and exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Then on your next inhale, gaze comes between the hands, step or walk the feet in. Keep some softness in the legs, draw the belly in, then inhale, come up to your standing position, so that's the mountain pose. Take a big roll back with the shoulders. Rounding through the feet. Inhale, sweep fingertips up to the sky, lift up and out from the waist. Exhale, hinge from the hips, float forward, bend the legs if you need to. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, find that halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, step or jump your feet back to plank, shoulders above the wrists. Strong here through your center line of energy. Working through your chaturanga. I'll do the modified version to start with today. So you're either going to inhale and come through your cobra or your upward facing dog. In both positions, make sure the legs are engaged and switched on, supporting your spine. And then everybody meeting back in a downward facing dog on the exhale. pressing the mat away from you with your hands. Reconnecting with your breath, perhaps connecting to your ujjayi breath if that's something that you work with, your ocean breath. No worries if it's not. Just breathing in and out through the nose. Remembering that child's pose is there for you at any time. Take what you need from this practice and listen to your body. Inhale, gaze comes between the hands, step or jump the feet in. Lift the chest and lengthen the spine. Find a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach the fingertips up to the sky. Grow the spine tall. Exhale, hands come through to heart center and Jali Mudra. Just gently press your hands in this prayer position into the chest bone here. This is an acupressure point called Sea of Tranquility. So it can be a nice place to find some calm. Inhale, sweep the fingertips back up to the sky. Lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat, step or jump back and work through your chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Belly buttons drawing in towards the spine. Arms are nice and strong. Imagine your arms hugging in towards the ears, triceps rolling down. Inhale, gaze comes between the hands, step or jump your feet in. Lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, grow the spine tall. Exhale, bring your hands through to heart center. Inhale, reach the fingertips back up to the sky. Exhale, hinge from the hips, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, bring the hands down to the mat, jump or step the feet back and work through your chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, floating back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot through between the hands. Reach the fingertips up to the sky, finding your high lunge on the right side, lifting up and out from the waist. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center and Jali Mudra. Inhaling here, making space first. On exhale, twist to the right. And then we're going to come over this right leg and see if you can bring your left elbow to that right thigh and hook it there, palms of the hands pressing into each other. You can drop the back knee straight down to modify here. We're all going to be doing that in a moment. And maybe you're starting to open out here into your revolved side angle. Breathing, seeing if you can send the gaze towards the ceiling. Now bringing the hands back in if you'd open them up. Find your prayer position in the twist. And then if you haven't already, can you stay in your twist and drop that back knee down? Really lifting your belly away from that right thigh, keeping that space across the chest. So now we're in our low lunge, our crescent lunge. Inhale, coming away from the twist, back to center. And reaching those fingertips up to the sky, lifting up and out from the waist. Exhale, cactus the arms. Check that that front knee is above the ankle. If it's coming over, walk the foot out slightly. Joints are stacked here. And if you need to have your hands on blocks, you absolutely can. So then from here, you're either going to see if you can do this without the hands, or if you're finding that you want to have the hands grounded or something, you bring them to the mat or to blocks, and we're going to shift our weight back into the left leg and start to draw the right toes away from the mat, finding our half split. Then you can bring the hands down, but make sure that your spine is staying lengthened. So if you're having to round like this here, I would recommend grabbing your blocks, having the hands on the block so that you can find that lovely length through the spine. And then start to breathe here. So inhale, finding some lift through the chest. Exhale, folding over this front leg. And this could be a really subtle fold, so keeping the spine nice and long. Noticing how this back of the right leg's feeling. And now you're either going to stay here and work with this. If this is already feeling enough for you, which it may well be, you're going to work here. If not, and you're working with your splits, you're going to start to slide this right leg out in front. And I really recommend using blocks to support you. So for example, make sure that they're brick block style blocks, so they're really nice and sturdy. So you could have the blocks on the higher setting and, for example, be working here like this. Maybe you're coming lower down and you want to bring your blocks onto the lower setting and support yourself with your splits here. Or maybe you're working without the blocks and the fingertips are coming to the mat. Just make sure that we want this left thigh to be nicely tucked under at the back. So wherever you are, just reconnecting to your breath, not forcing anything here. And then coming away, if you come into your splits, we're going to walk this right foot back in. And then everybody shift back. So we're in our low lunge with the right leg at the front. And come back to your hands at heart center. Tuck the toes under, power up through that back left leg. So coming back to your high lunge. From here, seeing if you can power into this right leg and find your warrior three. Hips are square, back foot is pressing. Imagine that you're pressing it into something behind you. Breathing here. I'm going to start to take some dips in our warrior three. So bending through this right leg. Dipping for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Floating the arms down now, stepping both legs back to plank and working through your vinyasa. Inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Lifting the hips to the sky, taking a child's pose if you need to. Taking a moment to check in. Making sure that you're really connected and listening to what your body is calling out for today in this practice. It might be working deeper into your stretches, but also equally it might not be. It could be today for you about taking it easy and really feeling into the breath, really coming into the body, noticing everything that's alive for you today. Inhale, this time we're going to step the left foot through between the hands, reach the fingertips up to the sky, finding your high lunge, lifting up and out from the waist. Exhale, float the hands to prayer position, heart center. Inhale here, lifting up and out from the waist first. As you exhale, twisting to the left. Then see if you can bring this right elbow down to the outside of the left thigh. So finding this deep twist here. Maybe setting the gaze to the ceiling. You can drop the knees straight down here if you need to. Option to open the arms out, finding our revolved side angle. Breathing into that space. No worries if you're wobbling and falling all over the place. Just as much part of this practice is as holding a pose. Just like in life, sometimes we learn the most when it doesn't go how we think it's going to. So bringing the palms of the hands back together, staying in your twist. If you can, now can you drop the right leg down to the mat, finding your low lunge if you haven't already, and staying in the twist, drawing the belly in. Lovely, nice, well done. Inhale, come back to center. Reach those fingertips up to the sky. Exhale, cactus the arms, opening across the chest. You can always bring the hands down to blocks here to support you. Take what you need. Then we're going to shift the weight back now into our right leg, finding our half split. Again, you could have the hands on blocks here if you need to. So these left toes coming away from the mat. This leg doesn't have to be straight. You can keep a bend in it. Just feel into where you can feel the stretch for you. Always coming to that place that's before your limit. Breathing here. As you inhale, maybe you can find a gentle lift through the chest. And as you exhale, maybe you can take a gentle fold over that front leg, but not compromising this nice space across the chest and the length through the spine. So notice if you're rounding at all here, taking blocks or props, finding that support if you need it. And then either working here, continuing with your breaths, or option now to work into your splits. So again, you could have the blocks on the higher setting and be looking at something maybe a little bit like this. Maybe you're coming down further, going on to the lowest setting of your blocks, working here. Or if you're coming into your splits now, you're just going to bring the hands, fingertips to the mat. Make sure that that right thigh is nice and tucked under. Breathing here. Noticing any sensations in the body, noticing all the different areas of the body and how they're feeling. Doesn't matter how small it is, whatever you're noticing. Nice, so we'll come away from the split. I quite like to use my blocks as well to help me come out. Come back to your low lunge now. So everybody's meeting here, hands coming back to heart center. Gonna tuck that right toe under, powering up back to your high lunge. So from here, can you now move onto that front left leg, coming into this straight line with the body for our warrior three. Again, you can have your hands on blocks here, hips are square, right foot's pressing back, crown of the head's reaching towards the wall in front, and we'll take our dips now with the left leg. So bending, staying in your warrior three. So for 1, 2, keep breathing, 3, 4. Well done, bring the hands down to the mat, step the feet back, and Vinyasa, inhaling into upward facing dog or cobra, and exhaling back to your downward facing dog. Lifting those hips to the sky, taking a child's pose if you need to. Noticing that energy that we're Connecting to within the body, the heat, fire. Inhale, send the gaze between the hands, step or jump the feet in, lift the chest, lengthen the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the fingertips up to the sky, lift the ribs away from the hips. Exhale, bring your hands through to heart center. Now from here, we're going to step the legs out, finding a wide leg position on the mat, pointing the toes forwards. Neutral spine position. Inhale, lift the ribs away from the hips. As you exhale, hinging from the hips, keeping the spine long, folding forwards. Prasarita Padottanasana. The hands are coming down to the mat, seeing if you can walk them through. An option to take the peace fingers to the big toes here and dropping that head down, elbows coming out to the side, opening into the backs of the legs. Bringing the hands away now back to the hips, inhaling, keeping the spine long as you lift the chest, coming away from your fold. Pivot the feet so that the toes are pointing out to the side now. Bring your hands to heart center. Exhale, bend through the legs, and as you bend through the legs for your goddess, draw your pelvis up and in towards the body, strong through the core. Imagine this energy drawing up from the base of the spine through to the crown of the head. Nice. Our knees are tracking over the toes, taking some little pulses here. Keep staying with your breath. Well done, and release. And now we are going to adjust the toes so they're still pointing out at a slight angle. And then you've got the option, we're going to come down towards a seated position. Now, you can either just bring yourself straight down if you're ready to. You could come through a Malasana squat here, which is a nice way. So you're going to start to bring the feet in slightly and then bending down into Malasana. Or you're going to bring and walk the hands underneath. And you can work towards hooking. So we're hooking our legs over our arms, and then maybe the feet start to lift away. Maybe you're straightening the legs here. And bringing the hips down to the mat. Coming into a wide leg position. And finding our fold here. So we're going to inhale, reach the crown of the head to the ceiling. And then on the exhale, walking the hands forwards. And again, try and really keep the thighs facing the ceiling. So legs are active, feet are flexed. Keeping the spine long. Breathing here. Just observing any thoughts passing through the mind. Knowing that you are exactly where you're meant to be right now. Inhale, start to slowly walk the hands back in, lifting the chest. I'm going to draw the legs back in together and wrap your arms around the legs and take a really big hug. And on the exhale, just drop the head down, so the forehead's dropping down towards the knees. Closing the eyes or taking a steady gaze and allowing the body to curve in on itself. On your next inhale, just lifting the gaze, opening the eyes back up if you had them closed. Just coming into a comfortable seated position on your mat. If you have time to come into a shavasana now or a longer meditation, then I strongly recommend that you do so for at least 10 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me for this class. I really appreciate every single one of you doing these flows with me and subscribing to this channel. It really means a lot to me. The link below, as always, to all the other things that I do check it out. Me doing all these other things help me to keep this channel going and provide free yoga resource. So yeah, do have a look at that, and I can't wait to see you again very, very soon. Bye.